Hello and welcome back. It actually has been a few days between filming because of one thing or another, so I haven't really gotten to it. But I'm coming back. I'll probably try to do a few, more than one, today, and then get them out, yeah, as quickly as possible. Um, yep, still in the lease outfit for Evie, and this is still 50 questions Mormons can't answered. So let's go ahead and start with the view. So we had this view previously. I think we are to this one where we get to see the steam coming off of our locomotive there. All nice and good. And we are on question 9. And this is a really odd question. I'll get to why I think it's odd. Well, there's one obvious reason it's odd, but there's a different reason too. Anyway, let me read the question. Question number 9. Can you show me archaeological and historical proof that from non-Mormon sources that prove that the people and places in the Book of Mormon are true? So first off, I think the guy had a little problem with his English there because our real instead of our true would have worked a little bit better, but I think he may have been confusing. Is the Book of Mormon true versus are the places in the Book of Mormon real? Or are the places in the Book of Mormon true places? I think, yeah, just little bit of English problem. So, so let me give you the simplest answer. We'll start with that one. There's no conclusive proof out there that the places or people in the Book of Mormon are real, or were real, I should say. But I'd also like to point out that there's also no real conclusive archaeological or historical proof that Moses parted the Red Sea, that, who was it, Elijah ascended to heaven in a chariot of fire, or even that Adam and Eve were real people. So that comes to my second point. This is a really odd question to ask of a spiritual nature. It's, can you empirically prove that something happened or existed or so on and so forth? And the first answer is, why would we? It's spiritual proof. It's it's from the spiritual sense of the word. So so it is kind of an odd thing to ask. This one seems to be a really short one, so I feel like I'm kind of adding a lot of information to it, but it also feels like, you should have some information for context. So I'm going to keep going. So in terms of like archaeology and history, the Book of Mormon takes place in pretty much a blank spot. Historical blank spot. It's most of it is on the American continent, mostly taking place between 600 BC and about 421 AD, give or take. So about a 1,000-year period there, whereas modern history really has no records of that period, of the place and the period whatsoever. There's just nothing out there. In fact, the Book of Mormon is pretty much the only thing that claims to be a record from this time period. So it is very much a blank spot, historically and archaeologically. That's actually not that unusual. To put it into a little perspective, so the Dead Sea Scrolls, we know pretty much nothing about the culture that preserved those scrolls, except for what has been translated from the scrolls themselves. We have no historical record of who they were. We presume their beliefs based upon certain things written in the scrolls, but we really don't know 100%. And had the Dead Sea Scrolls not been found, we would know nothing about them nowadays. Now, they were more or less the same period, between 100 BC and 100 AD, more or less, is where we believe that culture existed. They're in the middle of the Holy Lands, in the middle of, where we should have a lot of records about people, and we still know nothing about them. So, that, just put in perspective, it's not unusual that we wouldn't know anything about this record, about these people, that we wouldn't have any known records about it, and odds are we never will. That's just the way things happen. There are plenty of cultures and civilizations completely lost because we know nothing about them. But like I said, this is it's just a really odd question. Like a lot of these questions just seem very odd to me because they don't seem to grasp the essential spiritual nature of religion in general, and they seem to look more for I'll use this metaphor. They're basically sign seekers. Anyone asking this question is a seeker of signs. Now, sign seekers been known throughout, the Bible, throughout Book of Mormon, actually. It's pretty much every religion has someone who basically comes up and says, well, if you show me proof, if God shows me proof, absolute proof, shows me a miracle, I will believe. Now, the thing about sign seekers, I've met people like that myself, is they never really believe. You can't base your entire faith on seeing one miracle. It's you have to already have the faith in place and see the miracle, and seeing the miracle will only improve your faith, or you won't be convinced at all by seeing the miracle, or you'll be briefly convinced, but you won't have the grounding, the basics of belief already in place for that belief to last. It's actually very rare to start a belief system by seeing a miracle and then maintain that belief system throughout your life. It's just, beliefs have to have a solid grounding before we see all the signs and miracles, before those will make an actual difference in our lives. So, so this question is really, can you show me a sign that everything that happened in the Book of Mormon actually happened? And I'll tell you right now, if I had absolute historical and archaeological proof, if we found, say, a Mayan ruin that basically goes through the Book of Mormon, chapter by chapter, if we found that, and if I showed that to someone, they would say, well, it could mean something else. This isn't really proof. No, you guys are, you're just, putting a false interpretation on it. So that's the thing. Asking for signs. This is advice. Whatever your religious beliefs and so on, asking for signs of proof of religion will never lead you to belief. So, don't do it. Find the belief yourself, and then you may see signs and miracles, or you may not. Signs and miracles happen as needed on God's time, not on yours. So anyway, that's the video for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you liked it and want to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.